So if you're a freelance contractor and you're finishing working and you want to look at closing your company, there's a few standard things we have to do, such as deregistering for VAT, submitting a final VAT return, closing your payroll scheme and issuing you with a P45. So those are pretty basic standard things. Where we need perhaps to review a bit more is if you've got money left in your company to withdraw. And we'll look at what options are there and the most efficient thing for you to do. So there's normally two main ways of taking the money out of the company. The first is more simple, and that's to keep taking the income as dividends each year. You can, if you wish, take the dividends up to the higher rate limit and then just simply leave the company open. You'll pay perhaps minimal accountancy fees to keep a non-trading company open, and that will allow you to keep withdrawing the dividends each year. The second option is to perhaps look at doing what's called a capital distribution. And this will be different slightly in terms of how it's taxed, and it's treated as a capital gain, so you'll pay capital gains tax. An accountant can handle a distribution of up to £25,000. That's fairly simple to do. Anything above that might still be worth doing, but you would have to appoint a liquidator typically, and you might pay a few £1,000s in fees, but that might mean that you make a big tax saving. So in terms of the tax you pay on your capital distribution, under the capital gains tax rules, you get an allowance per year, which currently is £11,300 for the 17-18 year. So you do also want to make sure that you perhaps plan to do it in a year where you've got no other capital gains as well. Above the £11,300 allowance, you'll pay typically tax at 10%, which is used in what's called entrepreneur's relief. And you can do that on up to however much money you've got in your company. The drawback, or just thing to consider rather, is that if you do recommence trading within 2 years from the date of the capital distribution, that 10% entrepreneur's relief and capital gains income is removed, and it's all reanalysed as dividend income. So it is really important to review what's going to happen over the next 2 years. And really, if you do the capital distribution route, make sure you don't restart trading within 2 years.